9:43 this morning. Temperatures are off to a cold start, and the bitter cold is not going anywhere. Arctic air mass that is situated over much of the Midwest and will continue to influence our forecast not just today, but over the next couple of days. It already feels quite a bit colder this morning, and we're staying colder. 13 weather ball is blue. Colder weather is in view. It's also blinking bright. Snow is still in sight. Now, we're already starting to see some of that along the lakeshore, mainly right around Muskegon and further south following along the lakeshore. So Holland is one area where we've been able to see some of those snow showers throughout the morning. A little bit of a snowy start this morning. Temperatures right around 15 degrees, feeling only like 5 degrees right now. Here's a look at satellite and radar where we're seeing some of these snow showers picking up. We've been able to see a little bit of lake effect throughout this morning. It's been getting stronger as we've gone through the last couple of hours, and it will just continue to ramp up as we're going throughout the rest of the morning and especially into this afternoon as well. Winds are largely out of the north-northwest, so with that strong northerly component, most of this snow will be staying confined to the lakeshore. Right around US 31 is where we're going to be seeing those highest totals from today before we start to see a slight shift to more northwesterly winds getting into this evening. Things will start to become even more westerly into tomorrow, but for the meantime, lakeshore is going to be seeing the main impacts from the snow. Everybody, though, dealing with the Arctic air mass temperatures that at this point are only in the teens, feels like the single digits, and this is where we'll be throughout the rest of the day as well. We'll continue to see temperatures only in the teens today. By the time we're waking up tomorrow morning, well, single digits, and then staying there as we head throughout the rest of our Monday as well. With winds, though, breezier winds, that's going to keep us feeling quite a bit colder. Monday, at no point will we really be feeling above zero for most areas in West Michigan. It's going to be a cold day ahead of us, a cold start to the work week, staying that way too, and also still a little bit of a snowy one. Pay attention to these wind directions here, largely out of the north throughout this morning. Starting to see that slight shift throughout the rest of the day, still fairly north-northwest though, as we're heading throughout much of this evening into the overnight hours. That westerly shift is really kicking in. That continues throughout much of our Monday, bringing more of that snow further inland. So a lot more of that snow will start to spread a little bit closer to US 131, just not quite yet. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory out for many counties along US 131 and further at least west of it as well. That went into effect this morning and will be staying in effect until we get to Wednesday morning at 1 a.m. So all the way through Tuesday night. As far as how much snow we're expecting from this, well, it's largely going to be staying closer to the lakeshore. Still looking at the chance for a widespread 6+ inches of snowfall, possibly 1 or 2 reports that could end up being above 10 inches of snow underneath the heaviest bands. That's certainly a possibility. That's usually what we end up seeing when we have some of these winds setting up, especially between about Holland and Allegan. That's typically where we end up getting those highest reports from when we have a setup like this. Notice how tight this gradient is, though. The further east you travel, things start to drop off very quickly when we're talking about some of these snowy numbers. Now, 3 to 6 inches for the darker blue contour, but it's fairly skinny, and then it also continues to just get a little bit lower as we go further and further to the east. Beyond 131, really not seeing too much snowfall on the way for many of us, especially north of 96. We will still be able to see some snow throughout the rest of the day, though, so let's time this out. Still some snow following along the lakeshore counties throughout the rest of today. Starting to move a little bit further inland as we're getting into this evening, especially more of that shift northwesterly winds as we're getting into the overnight hours, and Monday morning brings more of that westerly shift on the way. That brings that snow further inland. I would say a good 3 to 6 inches is certainly a possibility from this as we're going from Monday morning into Tuesday morning. That continues to move on through, and we're still stuck with the lake effect into Tuesday as well. More lake effect chances on the way, but that's not all you're going to notice. It's also going to be these cold temperatures. Let's look at feels like temperatures though, because waking up Monday morning going to be down in the negative teens. Same thing for Tuesday morning. Looks like Wednesday morning is likely to be our coldest. I think a lot of areas could even be waking up feeling like we're down in the negative 20s as we're starting our Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, slight warm up here, and we're continuing to warm up as we're heading into the end of the work week as well. Near the lakeshore today, temperature is only going to be topping out in the teens. Winter weather advisory in place with definite lake effect on the way. Most of West Michigan is going to be staying in those teens today. Your 13 on your side 7-day forecast. Half of the 7 day is in red with 13 weather impact alerts because of that bitter cold that is not going anywhere, at least for the next couple of days. Lake effect also going to be interspersed within there. That will continue even past the cold, though, into Thursday, still seeing the chance for some snowfall before we start to quiet down and warm up a little bit into the end of this upcoming work week.